What's up, everybody? I am really excited about this interview today. And for those of you listening on the podcast, holy shit. So I got Miranda here with us. And let me tell you, Miranda's been around since 2021. I'll never forget when I enrolled her. This was back when I was doing the enrollments, and verbatim, her words exactly. And I'm so happy to have her on because I know so many women that say, I've already done that. I already know how to do that. I've already cleared. I've already done the shit. Just, I need to know. Da, 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 da. And so her fucking story is just, it's incredible. And she's got enough kahunas to come on and share it with us. But anyway, she came in 2021 as the self-help, like she had done it all. She had cleared it all. She knew where she was going, knew what to do, to now actually knowing, and she has grown leaps and bounds. Things are working for her. She's tapped in fully to her heart. It's incredible to watch. She's just full of wisdom. And I want her to share her story, her growth, her tips. She's going to give us so many tips today because I know so many of you are probably thinking that you've done a lot of stuff, but something's still maybe not the way you want it. So anyway, thank you, Miranda, for coming on, sharing it, and just being vulnerable.
Happy to be here. The second I signed up with you, I had a vision of us doing a podcast together. And so I knew it was going to happen one day. You got to sign up. So yeah, I'll just kind of give you the Clip Notes version of my life. I was the only child. I grew up in a middle class, seemingly, wonderful household. But my parents were very, very religious, very strict, almost kind of cult-like, a lot of rules. That was very confusing. I was a tomboy. I didn't get it. By 13 or 14, I was like, fuck all this. I'm not going to church with you guys. I don't want anything to do with you. And I kind of separated from all of them. Wasn't really close to either one of them. Found music. Music really was the first time I felt understood, specifically punk rock. That was like my community. And I got into drugs and alcohol a lot, just kind of numb it all out. Anxiety, depression, OCD stuff, just numb it all out. By college, I was like, I'm okay. I got out of there. I was on my own. I was really starting to feel independent and love life and get it. And then I was raped when I was 19. So in my mind, because I was drugged and I only remember half of it, it wasn't that big of a deal. I didn't deal with it at all. That caused me to marry my first husband when I was 20. I wasn't into him at all. I wasn't really connected, but he worked for my family. He made a lot of money. It seemed safe. I graduated college 6 months pregnant. Then I found out my husband was cheating on me with his secretary. So didn't process any of that, didn't deal with that, move on, didn't even attempt to figure my life out. Met the first person, literally, my cousin brought him over. I didn't even have to look. First guy, he seems safe. I won't deal with my shit. He'll take care of me. Didn't realize he had his own, we just became trauma bonded. He was escaping his trauma. So was I. He was abused, a lot of abuse in his family. And I knew I had Hashimoto's. I knew I had adrenal fatigue. I knew all of that, but I didn't know what it meant. And once I disconnected emotionally from my husband, I was able to okay, what do I need to do? How do I get out of here? What's emotional abuse? What's narcissism? Why do I do this? So I did a lot of work. I did a lot of clearing. I did a lot of childhood stuff, podcasts, books, anything I could do. So after that aha moment, I was like, okay, there's something more. You've done all this external work. What else? And that's when I found you. You were the first person to call me on my bullshit.
What did I say?
Well, you did it through lives, and then you did it on Messenger. I grew up in the therapist world. I've always helped other people. I've been a coach. I was a teacher. I've been a tutor. I've always done that for other people. So all this material, when I saw stuff, even when I saw your stuff, I was like, I could do that. I could tell people that. But I wasn't saving the little girl. I wasn't saving myself. I wasn't going back and telling her it was okay. 35-year-old me was awesome. Young me was not okay and never was. And so you were the first person to say, you could do this. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter what your job, none of it. If you haven't done this, none of this other shit matters. The other thing you said that got me was, you all are drunk on content. And I was like, shit, I am. I did the MLM. I had the body I wanted. I did the food plans. I'm coaching. I did all of that shit. I've helped women. I've done all of that. But at some point, you're like, what am I doing here? I'm just regurgitating the same things. I'm hearing the same things. If I don't do the work, nothing's going to change for me. I can help as many people as I want. I'm still not happy. I'm still not at peace. I'm still eating the wrong things. I'm still making those decisions because of my worthiness, because of whatever else. And then you helped me a lot with the feminine, masculine of my parents. And you helped me clear a lot of that shit. Also understanding the idea that generational pain and trauma is huge. And that was a huge part of my journey. And understanding that spirit, because of my fucked up religious background, it's not, you don't have to call it God. You can call it whatever you want. And you really helped me with that. and just my world just changed completely. And I was like, how do I feel great? How do I get to the next level? And then your Aya experience came up. And so now I'm not afraid of death. I'm afraid of rebirth. I'm so used to trauma. My soul and spirit are way over there, but my mind and body are like, hold on a minute. So now I'm just sitting in patience and grace and like letting my body release this stuff. I'm journaling like a mad woman. That was the one thing I refused to do when I heard you. I was like, I don't need to write about it because I talk to myself a lot. It's like, I'll just talk it out. Nope. I had to journal it. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. Is just really reveling in look at what you did, look at how far you've come, and let's just be at peace and be still for a while.
Yeah. Tapping into that divine feminine. Love it. So it sounds like you were like most women, the rescuer, where you wanted to, you rescue people, made you give you worth, but then it's like, what about me? You never rescued yourself. So you've now rescued yourself and you're getting to know that part of you. And it's beautiful.
Yes.
Okay.
I like women now. Yes. I celebrate myself. Yes. I love I never had any of those thoughts before.
Yeah. I used to hate women too. And now I like them. And so I said, what Hotmomz does is it awakens your goddess is what it does. And we're reading that. So what was the main problem you had when you joined? Because women, you got to have something that you're going from running to. So what was the main problem? Do you remember?
The main problem was like, you can listen to anything. And I'm like, love Abraham Hicks. I loved all the universe stuff. You can put all that in, but at the bottom, you still have that anxiety pop up. You still have that. I'm not totally aware. I don't totally know. I don't totally trust that. You still have that. My whole life, my childhood is fear and worry. That's it. There was just that piece that I just felt off. I felt like I just needed a little bit of something else.
Yeah, no, I hear that a lot. And I hear people come in and it's interesting. They speak so eloquently and they can speak like the Abraham Hicks and speak like the language. But I'm like, well, why are you here? They can't tell me. A lot of them have big egos because, it's like they're still in their shit where women aren't safe or they should know the answer. But so you knew there was just this little one extra piece. You felt like something was void or missing.
Absolutely.
Okay. Why did you choose to join and work with me versus any other program? I mean, there's tons of fucking programs out there.
Because like every other woman, I had bought it all. I had done it all. I had seen it all. And at this point, you're just kind of self-soothing, right? Like I said earlier, I would listen to something and I'm like, yeah, that's dumb. Like, I know that. Okay, whatever. It's when I repeated your videos and I think I did your Elevate for a couple months. Wow. Just to get a little, like once I felt like I'd listened to your podcast and I was like, okay, I get this. I see what she's saying. I did that. I need more. Yeah. So that was when I got on just the basic, like I wasn't ready for a commitment, but like, just give me some more.
Yeah.
So, and then I got to the point where that was not enough. Like, okay, done this, give me some more.
Okay. Was there anything in particular about the program that really helped you? Because I know people are like, well, how? Like, what was that one thing? And I know that's not it, but what would you say?
For me, probably the biggest part was understanding why I was the way I was. Like, I knew my parents were different. I knew the religion stuff fucked me up externally. I didn't understand what it did to my soul. I didn't understand what being loved conditionally meant to me. I didn't understand how it stunted me. I didn't understand how not having, because I was fed and taken care of and never beaten. So I didn't understand. You've talked about this a lot. That doesn't mean there's not a ton of trauma there. Yeah. And having to tap into that was huge for me.
It's what didn't happen to you. It's not what did happen. It's like what didn't happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's what I didn't get that I didn't think I missed or needed.
Yeah. Damn. So as a result of implementing that, what has been the outcome?
I had already dropped the victim mentality. I didn't want that to define me. So I had dropped the anger towards my ex-husbands and my, I'd forgiven that, but I didn't know what, it's still floating around in you if you don't release it. So you really helped me, like, okay, you cannot be mad at people, but you're still not loving yourself. You're still mad at yourself.
Right.
So I learned to love myself. I learned to understand. I learned to have grace and patience for myself. But really, I used to be very judgmental. I used to never had a lot of girlfriends, never had a lot of friends. I kind of knew everyone, but I never had my people. I feel like I always kind of had to do everything on my own. So you really helped me work through that and understand that. The other thing, I think you said, what did it do for you? What it did for me is just, it gave me space. It allowed me to do for myself what I've done for so many other people.
Wow.
in my life.
That's fucking huge. That's probably the most profound answer I've ever heard so far on that question. Wow.
Thank you.
Okay. Where do you think you'd be right now if you would have just stayed in your shit? Oh, I can't afford it. I've done that before.
There's a couple answers. One, I was not just in an unhappy marriage. I was in an abusive situation. So if you take the abuse part out of it and just in an unhappy marriage and struggling, I'd be like 50 to 75% of everyone I come in contact with in the world.
Right?
Upset, stressed,
we
victims
were,
of.
yes, circumstance. And I'm sorry to
Yes.
interrupt, but Demaisi, Demaisi, she's in our community. She's a life coach, very, in the industry. We were sitting there and we could hear women, we caught wind of what, they were saying. And she looked at me and she goes, man, it's so sad. It's so sad how insecure and miserable. And it is true. Like most women, even if they're all together, whatever, they're not happy. They're like we were, man, judgmental.
Absolutely.
They're bitching about something. They're on a break from their husband and they love getting a break from their kids. No judgment, man. I used to be that, but it's like, it's not a happy fucking life.
It's not. And I realized when I really could let go of the anger from my husband, I realized he was the same person I was, with the same trauma and the same insecurities. He just went the angry asshole route and I went the scared, like shut down route.
So if there's anybody watching that feels like they already know what to do, they've already done all the programs, they're a life coach themselves and they're watching my shit, what would you say to them? Because they're maybe on the fence about reaching out, booking a call, buying something.
First of all, like you said, you're already watching. So there's that. You're looking for something.
We love you.
But if you feel, if it does something to you, if any of my words, any of your words, when you feel pulled on, there's something there. And that's been the biggest thing that I've learned is I'll go back and I'll watch your stuff and I'll be like, that doesn't ring the same. I got that. Ooh, that hit.
Yeah.
Why'd that hit?
Yeah.
And then, so it doesn't have to be, I'm a mess, I'm not healed. It just could be like, there's one piece or one part and you're looking for something. And when you feel someone connect with you, where you feel that peace.
Yeah. So, okay.
Well, when you drop the judgment and you drop the ego, you realize, and this is the biggest part for me, because I always felt like I need to be okay. I need to be okay for my kids. One day I realized you're never going to fucking be okay. You are never going to be healed. You are never going to be done. It's all part of the journey. I learned and I got better. And now I'm able to look back at 7 years ago and go, bitch, you did that. You pulled your kids out of that. You saved them from that situation. You found you did all this stuff. You healed. You've done this. I have to stop sometimes and go, just because I'm learning and growing doesn't mean that I can't turn back and go, look at all of that stuff that I did that way.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. I love just being a conscious creator, Yeah. Being able to know that you can literally change moment to moment.
And you can learn something from anybody, even if it's the Uber driver.
Right? Everything is a growth opportunity. Okay. So I love this so much. So powerful. I think a lot of women are going to be like, holy shit. It's not often that we get someone that comes in thinking, they're good. They've done that. You grew up with a dad that was a mental health guy. And then you also did the plant medicine. You've also done the work. You've used the resources. You've been here for, almost 2 years. It's just not often that we get a woman that's done that. We get some that's physical transformation, other things, but it's rare to get one that does the deep soul spiritual stuff and the hormones and does it all.
Oh, so I just started with, that was another thing I was putting off. I started the journey physical, not doing mental and emotional. I ended the journey mental, emotional, not doing physical. So now I'm like, okay, now you're ready to do this stuff. Now you're ready to commit. So I got on the adrenal cortex and I'm changing everything seems different. How I look at food. I dropped the coffee for the most part.
Women are going to be like, okay, let me go get that supplement. It's going to change my life. No, it's not just one supplement. That's where people get it wrong, man. They get in, they like, I just need the hormones. I'm like, oh my God, why you have to get to the reason of why your hormones are off and why every other program hasn't worked if you really want this to work,
Absolutely.
So thank you. Thank you so much for just being you and being a positive light and inspiration for the freaking world.
I appreciate it. Thank
You're welcome.
you.
So where can they find you? What's the name of your social media handles if they want to follow you?
So I'm Miranda Rae. That's my middle name. That's kind of what I'm going by. At some point, hopefully I can come up with some sort of
You will.
name.
Fuck yeah, man. Well, thank you so much. And we'll talk to you soon.
You got it. Take care.
All right. See you. Bye.